it says in the Merriam-Webster dictionary, to ratify, to approve and sanction something formally, or to confirm it, to say that it is approved. When if something is not ratified, it is not approved and it is not official. Get it right. You understand? We need to start reading the Equal Rights Act. You understand? This is the reason why we keep fighting for equal rights, because our rights have not been ratified. You understand? I want to grab Psalms. I'm going to grab Psalms chapter 55 and 20. Psalms chapter 55 and 20. Here we go.
You said Psalms 55
and 20. I got it, sir. You know, I got it. You sure? Okay, go ahead.
Psalms 55 verse 20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him.
And this is what we talk about every time we talk about the native Indians. This is the scripture that we always use. Our oppressor had put forth his hand as against the people that was at peace with him. We always remember this about the Native American Indians. Native American Indians welcomed the oppressor in. The Native American Indians were at peace with the oppressor. Once the oppressor got on his feet, the oppressor put forth his hands against the very people that were at peace with him. Well, guess what? This is the same thing he had done to the blacks and Hispanics in America too. You understand? He had put forth his hands against a people that had be at peace with him. We talked about this on the One West news desk. They have all of these so-called illegal immigrants in here working with tax ID numbers. And they're calling them illegal immigrants. You have a federally approved ID number, but you're an illegal. How does an illegal have a federally approved tax ID number? Our oppressor had put forth his hands as such that be at peace with him. You understand? He does the same thing to us, bringing us up on all of these trumped up charges. You understand? You ever seen a brother get pulled over by the police for a bogus charge and then he ends up unalive? This is an oppressor who puts forth his hands as against such that be at peace with him. We are a peaceable people. You understand? All of these other nations. Think about this. The oppressor is at war with China right now. See no Chinese people getting unalived in America. I haven't heard of it. He's at war with the Afghans. I have not heard of a single Afghan being unalived in America. America is at war with all of these other nations, and all of these other nations have people right here in America, but America will not unalive them. It's because America knows who we are. He knows we are the children of Israel. He knows that we are a special people. And this is the reason why he is at war with us. He understands that he needs to keep us in captivity to control and to remain as the head of his kingdom. But America's kingdom is falling. You understand? It's falling and it will not get up. You understand? Go ahead, sir.
He has broken his covenant.
Listen, they said America had over 177 covenants with the Native American Indians, and they have broken every one of those covenants. So much so on CNN a few months ago and a few years ago, all the way up till the day before yesterday, they said they're still breaking those covenants with the Native American Indians to this very day. To this very day, he had broken his covenant. America does not keep their covenants. You understand? Think about the covenant they had. The Minsk agreement that they had with Russia. They broke that. You understand? What is Israel doing under being a proxy for America, breaking the covenants, destroying the Palestinians? Now, we don't care what happens to them either way, one way or the other, but we're just showing you how America does not keep their covenants. America breaks their covenants with all nations. America has broken their covenant with the South Africans. America has broken their covenant with the Venezuelans. America has broken her covenant with the Panamanians. You understand? And the Chileans and all of those South Central American people. You understand it? All across the globe. This is what America does. We got to understand the beast that we are at war with. You understand? This is not a friend of ours. This is an enemy. And the scriptures tell us, trust not thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is her wickedness. You understand? Just like iron, eventually iron shows its true properties. And just like iron, our oppressor will eventually show her true colors, her true intentions. You understand? Go ahead, sir.
Verse 21, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
That's what happens to us. The words of our oppressor's mouth, they become smoother than butter. They become milk to our ears. They become that very thing that we want to hear. Oh, you know what? We're going to bring up the reparations. You listen, when Trump came in, right, they start talking, oh, yeah, he talking about bringing up reparations. Every time a president comes in, the first thing come out black people's mouth is, oh, they talking about reparations. They've been talking about reparations since we came out of so-called slavery. And think about that, right? Emancipation. Think about the word emancipation. What does it mean to be emancipated? It means to be emancipated means to be removed from private property into state property. That means you are no longer owned by a private individual. Now you're owned by the state. You understand? This is the reason why when you get convicted in court, they say you are now property of the state. We don't understand the propaganda and the words that our oppressor uses to hook us in and to bring us in and to control us. Think about all those wildfires that's going on over there in California now. Hey, come on, let me ask you, because we around the same age, right? I remember we are, right? Oh, you wicked boy. Hey, listen, check this out. If you remember, right, when we was young, every time those wildfires used to break out in California, they used to always have a firefighter count of the firefighters who perished in those fires. All the way up until it was the late 80s into the early 90s. Then all of a sudden you stopped hearing those, firefighters who used to perish in all of those fires, those wildfires out there. Why do we not hear that anymore? Because we have become property of the state. And when you become property of the state, they don't have to alert anybody of your perishing. They don't have. Hey, let me ask you a question, Kawan. Do you remember Big Stanley used to live on Arendelle? His brother Anthony was down in jail. He got unalived down in jail. They didn't hear about it till 2 weeks later. 2 weeks later. Because he was property of the state. They alert you when they're ready to alert you. And the only reason why the family found out is because somebody from down there called the family and told them. Listen, this is a wicked beast we're living under. This is a wicked beast that we're living under. We have to understand how this beast operates. And until then, we're going to stay in the conditions that we in. I'm going to touch on something else right here, too. If you ever heard of the Maryland Doctrine of Exclusion, it's a doctrine that was written in 1638. It's called the Maryland Doctrine of Exclusion for 1638. And this doctrine of exclusion specifically says that no slave, descendant of a slave, or black person shall enjoy the fruits of white society. This was a doctrine that the colonies had taken on. The Maryland colony was the first colony to take on this doctrine. And then all of the other colonies took that doctrine and then they added on to it and made it suit to themselves. The Maryland Doctrine of Exclusion says that no slave, descendant of a slave, or black person shall enjoy the fruits of white society. What does that mean when it says that no slave, no black person shall enjoy the fruits of white society? What is a fruit of white society? What's a fruit of white society? Can somebody tell me what's a fruit of white society? The fruit of white society is being educated by your own people. A fruit of white society is having your own schools. A fruit of white society is having your own hospitals. A fruit of white society is having your own judges and lawyers in your own court system. That's a fruit of white society. Why is it called the fruit of white society? Because you know if your people are running it, you're going to benefit off of it. Having property is a fruit of white society. Look at all of the businesses that don't pay ground taxes or ground rent. People look at the things that happen to people with small businesses and things like that. When the government comes to them and says to them, oh, well, you owe back taxes. If you don't pay it in this amount of time, then we're going to take your whole business. This is a fruit of white society. Being able to control your own city, your own town, being able to regulate and make the laws in your own city, your own town. That is a fruit of white society. This is how cities and nations are built. Being able to control from the smallest to the biggest thing. Think about how we living right now. We don't control anything in our own neighborhoods. We keep calling these cities urban neighborhoods. We keep calling them urban neighborhoods, but there's nothing urban about it when the Chinese and the so-called small hats own everything. Our oppressor owns everything. Then we allow the Asians to come in and own all the corner stores. We allow all the East Indians to come in and own all the Dunkin' Donuts. We allow the Arabs to come in and cook all the fried chicken in our neighborhoods. And this is what we call urban neighborhoods. There's nothing urban about it. This is a melting pot. The very thing that has destroyed us. The scriptures tell us to what? Come out of her, my people. Come out of her, my people. Be not partakers of her sins. We allow these other nations to come right into our neighborhoods and we partake in their sins. Everybody knows rat, cat, and dog in that Chinese food. We allow them to come in and cook it up for us. You understand? We know them Arabs touching all that pork in the back. They ain't supposed to be touching and feeding it right to us. We allow them into our neighborhoods. I know it's black people that want to own a Dunkin' Donuts because I'm one of them. You understand? I know it's a fortune in that. And these other nations come over to America and they are told that you will experience what they call it, Kawan. They say that you will experience what they call America. What they say you're going to say that again? The American dream. But for them, think about it, right? It's not an American dream for them. It's an American reality. We are the ones that are looking for the American dream. We're the only ones that live in a dream in America. All the other nations live in an American reality. North Potomac. The Asians have a whole community in North Potomac where nothing but Asians live at. You understand? They got their own stores and everything. You ever heard of Duluth, Georgia? Sir? Duluth? You know, the Koreans got a whole city down there with everything with everything written in English and then it's written in Korean on it. What's that donut spot called? Krispy Kreme. Krispy Kreme got Krispy Kreme and then it got Krispy Kreme, I'm guessing, in Korean under it. Everybody's experiencing the the American reality. We the only people experiencing the American dream. Only time we can see the American dream is in our sleep. Once we wake up, we experience the American nightmare. This is how we live as a people. Listen, these policies prevented Black people from enjoying the benefits of white society. The policies ensured that Black people remained a non-competitive, non-compensated workforce. And that's what we are right now. We the last ones hired and the first ones fired. We make the least amount of money. You understand? In any condition. When you get hired for a position, you think you making top dollar, but you're not making top dollar. You making low dollar for that position. And they always talk about, yeah, they up there playing football. But we always make the low dollar. You understand? The policies were used to institutionalize racism and segregation in Maryland. That's what these policies was used for. You understand? And what do we have to thank for that? Who we got to thank for that? We got our leaders to thank for that. You understand? Our pastors, our public servants, our politicians. Think about this, right? Maxine Waters. How long Maxine Waters been in office? About 30? About 30 years? Yeah. Maxine Waters. How long she been in Congress? She's in Congress, right? Maxine Waters.
In Congress since 1991.
1991. How many years is that? That's a lot of years right there. That's over 30 years. 35. She been there like 35. God damn, she been almost 40 years. She can rate tip 40. Think about this, right? How do you have somebody in a position of power and you still have no rights? And they call themselves a success. Think about Jasmine Crockett. Think about this. Salakia, sir, if I may. You know that sister Jasmine Crockett? She been all over the news lately, right? You know what her net worth is? Her net worth is $9 million. But listen, she only been in Congress for 2 years. At $9 million, making $174,000 a year. Think about this, sir. I just tipped the scale of 100 this year. I'm struggling. How does she, her net worth, if she only making 174,000, how does her net worth become $9 million? Right? She got a $2.5 million loft down in there in Galveston. She got another $2 million property right down there off a lakeshore front property, and then a $1.5 million property in Dallas. 174, and they said this is not including her husband. Her net worth $1 million, and your net worth goes against, your credit owed as opposed to what you make. So how is her net worth $9 million? They said when our brothers and sisters get up in there and they get positions of power, they get paid off to continue the same, to keep the party going. Ain't that what they say? To keep the party going. They keep their mouths shut. We have destroyed leadership. Our leadership has destroyed us and placed us in the position that we in today. You understand? You got Michelle Obama. None of them speak up for us. You understand? Hakeem Jeffries, Cory Booker, Kwame Mfume. I know you know about him. You understand? Remember, he was the mayor down here for a little while. Remember that? Right after Kurt Smoke. Remember? Yeah, dig it, hold up, but This is the surprise right here. Ralph Warnock. Remember him? Remember the pastor? And I believe he was down in Georgia, right? He was down in Georgia. The National Black Caucus. You understand? The people that's supposed to represent black people in America. You understand? Our leadership has placed us in the position that we are in today. We destroyed as a people because of our leadership. You understand? What's that scripture? Judah mourneth. Jeremiah 14:2.
You want that?
Yes, Colin, sir. But we finished the other one, right?
Jeremiah 14 and verse 2. Judah mourneth.
It says Judah mourneth. What does that mean? Judah mourneth. You understand? We in a depressed state. We are in a saddened state. We are in a destroyed state. You understand? Blacks, Hispanics, and natives are in a destroyed state. And the thing about it, right, is that out of all of the nations that are in America, we are the only nation of people that are suffering. People don't even realize that. We're the only nation of people that are in America that are suffering. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives. It's a reason why we're suffering. You understand? The scripture says Judah mourneth. Go ahead, sir.
And the gates thereof languish.
That's it right there. It says the gates thereof languish. What does gates do? Gates either keep something in or hold something out. Gates are used for protection. You understand? Well, it says our gates languish. What does it mean to languish? To languish means to be destroyed, to be unoperable or unusable. It says the gates languish. Our leaders are supposed to be our gates. Those pastors and preachers, they're supposed to be our gates. Those politicians that stand up, they're supposed to be our gates. Those commissioners, those mayors, those councilmen, all of those police that walk those beats, they're supposed to be our protection. And I'm talking about the blacks, Hispanics, and natives. You understand? It says our gates languish. Our leaders are broken. Our leaders are destroyed. Our leaders are useless. Every time we turn around, we always talk about black excellence this and black excellence that. We have yet to see black excellence outside of the UPK. This is where black excellence starts at, right here. But outside of the UPK, there is no black excellence. A bunch of dudes sitting around drinking wine and throwing money around. That's not black excellence. That's selfishness. None of those people help their own community. None of them have built a school in the city that they're from. They have done nothing. Everybody gives out turkeys every year and talk about how many turkeys they gave out. Giving out shoes and books. Drug dealers do that. Pimps do that. There's nothing special about that. Build a school. Tell children right from wrong. Guide them in the right direction. That's where you find that at, right here in the ISUPK, Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, under Commanding General Yohanan. You understand? Our gates languish. Go ahead, sir.
They are black unto the ground.
Say that again.
They are black unto the ground.
It says they are black unto the ground. You understand? You know what that means? When you dig up the ground, what colors of black do you see in the ground? You see light black, you see dark browns, you see light browns, you see different colors. You see all hues of brown in the ground, depending on where you dig at. That's us. That's the nation of Israel. We come in all hues and colors. You understand? We are a brilliant people. We are a special people. There are no other people like us. But because we don't follow those laws, statutes, and commandments, because we don't remember our history, this is the reason why we keep falling into the iniquity of our oppressor. This is the reason why we keep falling into these traps that our oppressor keeps setting for us. You understand? We will never prosper outside of the Most High. We're going to continue to follow our oppressor. And now that World War III is hitting, we're going to fall right into World War III with our oppressor. Keep joining those armies and those navies and air forces and things like that. We're going to go down with the flames, right with the oppressor. We're going to sink with his ship. You understand? I want to jump to, that was some stuff that we touched on before, right? That was some stuff from the last time that we spoke, we touched on. I want to jump into Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1. You understand? This is the reason why we got to move away from our oppressor. We got to come from up under the wings of our oppressor. We got to stop following and believing that what our oppressor do is right. You understand? Come on, sir.
Isaiah 30 and verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children.
It says, woe to the rebellious children. What does that mean? Woe means destruction. It says destruction to the rebellious children. And look at us. We're living in destruction right now. We've been living in destruction ever since we hit the shores of America. You understand? All of those little wars and skirmishes that we got into before those Africans captured us. You understand? Before Rome got sacked. I mean, even while after Rome got, I said Rome. Israel got sacked by the Romans. You understand? It was destruction for us because we refused to follow the Most High. It says, woe to the rebellious children, destruction to the rebellious children. It's going to be destruction for us as long as we keep following our oppressor. Go ahead, sir.
Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord.
Saith the Lord. And what does that mean? Woe to the rebellious children that saith the Lord. Destruction to us, saith the Most High. Go ahead, sir.
That take counsel, but not of me.
That take counsel, but not of the Most High. You understand? We believe in the lies of America, taking counsel of America, the land of the free and the home of the brave. We believe in all of that. You understand, sir? We believe that, you understand, America is indestructible. You understand? America is going to last and live forever. You understand? This American government is falling apart as we speak. People looking at it, and because we followed America so long and so much, we believe that we don't even see the Keystone Cops, you know, the folly that's going on in the government right now. This is a government in decline. We looking at a government in decline right now, but we keep standing on that very thing. The land of the free, the home of the brave, the strength of America. We standing on all of that stuff. You understand? Everyone is created equal. You understand? We taking counsel, but not of the Most High. We believe that everybody got the same opportunities in America. America is feeding us these same lies. You understand? We believe everybody is equal. You ever heard somebody say that? Everybody got the same opportunities in America. We say that. You heard say that? Listen. I had to be one to admit I used to say that before the truth. Everybody got the same opportunity. It's just what you do with it. When America creates a condition for most of your people to be trapped and to be stuck in the tar pits. You understand? This is a created condition. You understand? Everyone is created equal, and everybody, this is the land of opportunity. This is only the land of opportunity for our oppressor. Our oppressor got a foothold over the natives and took a foothold in America and has controlled America ever since. Look at us. We destroyed as a people, believing in America. You understand? Justice is blind. You ever heard that justice is blind? Is innocent until proven guilty. You understand? We guilty until proven innocent. And listen, think about this, right? How horrible can America be when they can lock a brother up for 30 and 40 years and then exonerate him and then raise his hand like, they proud that they released this dude. He proud that he just happy that he survived 30 and 40 years in a prison system that was meant to destroy him. Remember the Central Park Five? Central Park Five. One of them brothers, after they got exonerated, one of them brothers had such a hard time that he unalived himself. That's the same brothers that Donald Trump took a full-page ad out. And wasn't that in 1990 or 91? Took a full-page ad out to destroy those five brothers. And the crazy thing is that the sister, I'm going to say sister, Salakia, sir. The white woman that it happened to said that wasn't even the dudes that did it. But they still destroyed the lives of five brothers. America is horrible. You understand? Go ahead, sir.
And that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit.
That's what we do all the time. Think about it, right? We cover with a covering, but not of his spirit. What does that mean? Believing America's systems will work for us. We believe in the justice system. You understand? We believe being a Democrat or Republican. How many people said fight? What was the slogan a couple of years ago? Vote or die? Vote or die. You're a Democrat or you're a Republican. Who side you on? You understand? Like it's gonna mean anything to us. Think about it. The Democrats and Republicans, it's two wings of the same bird. At the same time, the bird, it can only fly in one direction. America has been flying in one direction since it's been in flight. Two wings cannot fly in different directions. Now, they may have a different means of getting to the same point, but at the end of the day, they're going in the same direction. And their whole point is to destroy Israel. We are destroyed as a people. America's laws have destroyed us, and we believe in those very laws, being a Republican or a Democrat. You understand? Voting in an election, not understanding the hearts of our leaders. We don't even understand that our leaders have been bought out. The Black National Caucus, they have been bought out. They only want to stand around, take pictures and cheese and get the money from our oppressor. That's it. That's just like that Martin Luther King. What was that? What they got? $1.5 million to split up amongst the big six. $250,000 a piece. And think about this, in the 1950s and the 1960s, that was almost $5 million a piece. That's $5 million in today's money. They got paid to destroy their own people, to march their own people down to a dead man's statue. That march on Washington was supposed to have been a march on the White House. Our oppressor had other plans. He paid Martin Luther King and them to guide y'all in the other direction and to sing songs. We shall overcome. And look at us now, still singing them songs to this day. Still doing the same marching. What the scripture we said earlier, sir? Scripture says, come out of her, my people, and be not partakers of her sin. Every time we believe in America, we partake in her sin. Every time we believe in that red, white, and blue flag, we partake of her sin. Every time we say that pledge of allegiance, we partake of her sin. When you think about when you pledge allegiance, you pledge your allegiance from your people to another people. You say, I pledge to do as you command. That's what a pledge of allegiance is. You understand? Marching for the injustices done to our people, believing our oppressors will have a change of heart. See what that say right there. Let me see that. You understand? It says marching for injustices done to our people, believing our oppressor will have a change of heart. Ecclesiastes 7:13 said, consider the work of God, for who can make that straight which he hath made crooked? And that's what we believe that we can do. We believe we can change the heart of our oppressor. We believe that we can make the very thing that the Most High made crooked. We think we can make it straight. We think we can make it right. Man, if we keep on marching, man, if we keep on asking, man, one day they're gonna break down and they're gonna give us what we want. We just gotta hang in there. We just gotta believe in America. You believe in America, you're gonna sink with America. You understand? You believe in America, you're gonna sink with America. Go ahead, sir. Oh, you can go to the next one. The next scripture. Number two. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 2. Oh, no. I was reading that. That's why I read that. I wanted you to stay there. That's why I had already read it.
Verse 2. That want to go down into Egypt and had not at my mouth.
It says that walk to go down into Egypt and not have asked at my mouth, shaking hands and making covenants with our enemies. You understand? Walking to go down into Egypt, but have not asked of the Most High. This is the reason why the Most High says we are not to place anyone over us that is not of Israel or that is not of the Most High's choosing. This is what we continually do every time we go out there and we go and vote. Just like I said before, right? You have a selection and you have a choice. A selection is when somebody takes the people that they like and they let you select between them. A choice is when you say, listen, I know someone who can do a better job. I choose that person. That's a choice. You understand? Every year they come out and they give us a selection. And every year that selection goes against us. A selection has never been good for us. We choose the Most High. We choose who the Most High chooses. You understand? It says that walk to go down into Egypt and not have asked at my mouth. We keep signing away our loyalty to oppressors for promises of protection through laws. We believe these laws are going to protect us. But look at us. Every year we hear about some brother, some unlucky sister or brother being unalive by the very people that they say supposed to protect us. Think about it, right? Every year we hear the same thing over and over and over again. We gotta go back in and we gotta retrain our officers. We gotta retrain. They've been saying that since I was a kid, since the 80s. Retraining officers. When are we going to understand that this is the way this beast is? Ecclesiastes 7:13. This is just the way this person is. We can't change these people. You understand? This is just the way that the Most High have created them. We make alliances with the heathens, believing that they will stand with us when we stand with them. Just like when all that stuff happened in France a few years ago. You understand? I believe it was a terrorist attack over in France. Everybody had the France flag. When the stuff broke out in Ukraine, everybody had the Ukrainian flag. When the stuff broke out in Afghanistan, everybody had, oh yeah, let the Afghans come, let them get, we always standing with the very people that never stand with us. When are we going to understand that we have to stand alone and we have to stand on something more solid than America? America is a slippery slope. America is a house built on sinking sand. You understand? Go ahead, sir.
To strengthen themselves in the strength of
To strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, trusting in the customs and cultures of America, celebrating the oppressor's holidays. That's how we strengthen ourselves in the strength of Pharaoh. Believing that our oppressor had that power. You understand? How many of our brothers and sisters believe in Trump? I seen what they had what they called this, sir, Salakia, sir. I'm ready to say niggas for Trump. They had black people for Trump. Black people for Trump.
Blacks for Trump.
Can you believe that? Blacks for Trump. Trump has done nothing for black people. You know what everybody pull up, sir, about Trump? Oh, well, look at all of them rappers that he got out. You understand? He ain't do nothing for your average Joe on the street. He did something for people who already got money. He did something for people who are making money for the oppressor. He didn't do anything for black people that's out here in the struggle. He did stuff for black people that are out here making money for the oppressor. Trusting in the customs and cultures of America, celebrating the holidays. Hey, listen, how many times have we stood around and said it's okay to be LGBTQ? You understand? Standing for them customs and cultures of America. You understand? Selling the oppressors drugs and you're unaliving our own people. That's that thing right there. You understand? To strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh. Go ahead, sir. Join them.
And to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
And to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Trusting in the doctrines of our oppressor. Just like we said, the shadows of Egypt. That's that Pledge of Allegiance. You understand? That Star-Spangled Banner. Think about the Pledge of Allegiance, like we said before. You pledging your allegiance away from your people into the hands of your oppressor. You pledge to stand with your oppressor in good and bad. That's a marriage right there. You understand? The Star-Spangled Banner. We trust in the Star-Spangled Banner. God bless America. All of that type of stuff. You understand? Trusting in the Constitution, especially when the Constitution was written when we was enslaved. We still enslaved, but when we was in those chains and those irons, we still got brothers in chains and irons too. Don't get that mixed up. You understand? Believing in that equal rights under the Constitution. We destroyed as a people. We really believe that America is really going to stand with us and for us. You understand? Go ahead, sir.
Verse 3. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame.
Hey, listen. Therefore may the strength of Pharaoh. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame. You understand? America's propaganda makes us believe they have inexhaustible power. They got power in their media. They got power in the radio, the movies, the whitewashed of the history. Think about what's going on right now They taken all of the black history out of the armed forces. Did you hear about that, sir? The Tuskegee Airmen, they taken all of the accomplishments of the. Listen, this is actually history that we living in right now. They are whitewashing our history as we speak.
Iconicalism over again.
Iconicalism, Salakia, Officer Kawan said iconicalism happening all over again.
The famous pose when they're putting up the flag at Hiroshima.
Right. Yeah.
You know, a couple, 4 or 5 people. He's
flag, right.
Well, the cat in the front is a native Indian.
That's what I heard.
And what they did was took the native Indian off of the website and erased that history. So that it could be all white men.
Right.
That did this. And they can have their white kingdom.
Ain't that crazy?
It's like they whitewashed all the prophets, which were the heroes and the icons.
Right. Icons, right.
Any hero of America, they put it up to DEI.
Right.
Diversity, equity, and
inclusion, right.
It has nothing
to do with right.
Or that brother, that native Indian who was planting that flag, who was in the front,
right.
Who was the first one to fight his way up on that hill.
Right.
Plant that flag. And they erased it.
And they whitewashing all over again. You know what I mean? And that's why I said we living in history right now. And listen, the scriptures tell us that we need to ask our fathers and they will tell us. You understand? Ask the elders and they will show us. You understand? These are the things that we have to remember so we can pass them on from generation to generation. We have to get some kind of understanding, because once they whitewash your history, they can control and tell you that you are anything. You understand? You are a nobody when you have no history. Every nation of people can go back and recount their history. We are the only people who don't realize our history is right here in this Bible. You understand? This is our history. This is our moral compass. This is our laws, statutes, and commandments. This teaches us how to operate amongst the heathen, how to operate amongst each other. This has our high holy days in it. You understand? This is what we should be. This is the strength that we should be following. It says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame. This should be our strength right here in these scriptures. That should be our strength right here in these scriptures. You understand? Where was I at? The whitewashed of history. Go ahead, sir.
And the trust in the shadow of Egypt, your confusion.
Hey, listen, when you trust in America and America falls, that will be our confusion. You understand? We sitting around now. How can America fall? How can America fall? And we watching America fall right now. When America falls, everybody that trusts in America will be totally confused. I didn't think it could happen. Hey, you ever see, remember that Super Bowl when the New England Patriots had the perfect season? And they get all the way to the Super Bowl and they lose to the lowly Giants. And everybody sat around and was like, wow, how could that happen? That's how everybody gonna be feeling when America falls. Everybody that believes in America. You understand? Instead of believing in the Most High. That's how everybody's gonna feel. You understand? Like, how could this possibly happen? This team wasn't supposed to. You understand? America is supposed to fall. America, everything that is happening right now is happening to America because this is the way the Most High have planned it. You understand? Go ahead, sir.
Another confusion. The trust in America itself.
Right.
Like when the Mexicans voted for Trump.
Right.
Trump told them what he
was going to do. Yep.
I'm going to deport you. See, they were thinking, oh, he's just going to deport the criminals.
Right.
Who wants criminals to come in their country?
Right.
And gangbangers. And they're just going to deal with the criminals. And the Southern tribe, we already knew when they criminalized us, they weren't just talking about the actual drug dealers,
right?
The actual murderers. They were talking about all of us,
right? And
that's what they did. That's why you had damn near almost 10% of Black America in prison for crimes they did not commit.
Right.
This is how you get stopped and frisked and shook down and traumatized.
Right.
And everybody's father in prison because as a white man, you can walk down the street with weed. You can do that. Nobody's going to check you. You can have a pistol. Nobody's going to check you. But being Black, you're a criminal. You're going to be checked.
Yeah.
They didn't understand. So when they started mass deporting, picking up people at their jobs, coming to the classroom, kidnapping kids, waiting for the parents, taking them, shipping them to Guantanamo Bay.
Right.
Never seen that crime. Well, we didn't think he was going to be there.
What did you think?
We told you.
What did you think?
You could have looked at the experiences Black people have had to understand that they weren't just criminalized. The people who were here undocumented.
Right.
They're talking about attacking naturalized citizenship too.
Right.
Meaning all the people that ran over here to have a baby.
Yep.
Not gonna work. Green card, not gonna work. But they won't do it for the Europeans.
And the Asians, yeah.
It's not.
Them Ukrainians coming across the border, they fast track them across. The Asians. Listen, the Asians, the Russians. Yeah, they had Asians come across the border with fentanyl. They ain't said nothing else about that, huh? Think about the listen. Did you hear about the this happened a few years back. This back in 2019 when they caught the 33,000 pounds of cocaine in the port of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
It was, I believe it was June of 2019. On the same day, they got 310 pounds off the port of Baltimore on the same day. Same day. Said it was $10 million worth in the port of Baltimore. So if they caught that much in Philly, somebody knew something. But if they got that much in Philly, we got to think about how much they got past. They always got to act like they doing something or they create, they doing their job. You understand? Now let's get back to these scriptures, right? Well, let's get back to this right here. Them Jim Crow laws. Think about the Jim Crow laws, right? It was a systematic framework of racial of oppression enacted primarily in the southern United States from the late 19th century to the mid 20th century. Their purposes were multifaceted and aimed at reinforcing white supremacy and racial hierarchy through the following mechanisms. Think about this, right? Racial segregation. These laws mandated separation of Black and white people, public spaces, including schools, transportation, restrooms, and restaurants under the doctrine of separate but equal. Now, we agree with that. We want to be separate. But when the person that is separating you is controlling where you go to school or where you go to eat at, that's where the unfairity comes in. You understand? It says under the same thing, under the doctrine of separate but equal. We know we were separate, but we definitely were not equal. That's where the redlining and all of that other stuff comes in at. You understand? They placed us in different areas, in the worst areas, under the worst conditions, and then they placed their own people in areas of the best places. You understand? The most beautiful areas and things like that. You understand? That's where their laws and things like that, they use their laws against us. This is all history. All of this stuff has been happening ever since we got here. You understand? It's not hard to look this up. And if you can download that DeepSeek on your phone, you need to download that DeepSeek and start looking at stuff up under DeepSeek. DeepSeek goes in and gives you a real in-depth report. You can look at that. You understand? Established by Plessy and Ferguson. In practice, facilities for Black individuals were consistently inferior, perpetuating racial inequalities. You understand? And we're going to hit on another scripture, right? I'm going to hit Psalms chapter 58. And 3. Let's check that out. Listen, it says Psalms 58 and 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. Listen, these people are evil. All the laws that they create go against us. Everything that they have done explicitly to hold us back and to put us in the worst conditions possible. You understand? Placing our people in conditions where we only felt like we had to do certain things to get out of those conditions. It says the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. All of these things that they do are nothing but lies to us. You understand? They lie to us. You understand? And we continually believe in them. You understand? The disenfranchisement after the 15th Amendment in 1870 granted Black men voting rights. Southern states implemented barriers such as literacy tests, poll taxes, grandfather clauses, and violent intimidation to suppress Black political participation, effectively stripping them of electoral power. And listen, when they gave us that power back, that power still didn't do a thing for us. Listen, even if you vote, right? How do you know your vote was counting? I mean, think about it, right? How do you know your vote is counting? You could vote one way and they could change your vote for you. You could say you're voting for something, and then the very people that you think gonna get elected don't get elected. Voting as an American tool is nothing but propaganda. The people that you vote for will never get elected. The people that you believe are going to, change your condition will never get elected. And then the people that you vote for will never do anything for you. Ask Black people today. Ask Black people what Barack Obama did for us. He's not even Black. He's an African. He has nothing to do with us. But we continually get out there and vote. We continually put ourselves in a position to have the D look on our face. You understand? Listen, Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 15 says, "Thou shalt in any wise set king over thee." In no shape or form are we to put a king over us, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. If the Most High did not choose this person, we are not to put this person over. We know the Lord didn't choose Donald Trump. We know he didn't choose Barack Obama. We know he didn't choose Bill Clinton, George Bush, Bush Jr., none of them. But we continually go out and then we get irate with each other when we find out that somebody didn't vote. Listen, we've been voting since the 30s, the 40s. What has changed since we've been voting? And then the thing about it is, when the person that we believe should get elected don't get elected, then we start blaming ourselves. We don't even blame the oppressor. We begin to blame ourselves. Oh, if it wasn't for black men could have stood up and all that bull crap. Believing in America, believing in America's laws. It says, from one amongst thy brethren. Listen, how can we choose somebody to represent us that are not amongst our brethren? You understand that it's not one of us, that it's not so-called black, Hispanic, or native. How can we choose somebody that is not of our own stock? This is what I was talking about when I said you have a selection. Do you have a selection or do you have a choice? When you have a choice, you choose who will represent you. When you have a selection, they put people in front of you and tell you to choose from them. That's a selection. You don't have a choice. You have a selection. Every year, when you vote Democrat or Republican, you are not given a choice. You are given a selection. It's a difference. It's a big difference. One from among thy brethren shall set thy king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. Listen, the Most High tells us we are not to set a king over us or a leader over us that is not our brethren. This is what we do. We continually do this. We continually set people over us who have bad intentions for us. Somebody tell me what is Trump doing right now? Trump is erasing our history. Thank all of those blacks for Trump. Thank all of those blacks for Trump. Let's see. Social subjugation. Now think about this, right? It says these Jim Crow laws were a systematic framework of racial oppression enacted primarily in the southern United States from the late 19th century to the mid 20th century. Now, Jim Crow laws was all over. It was mainly used in the southern states. And their purpose were multifaceted and aimed at reinforcing white supremacy and racial hierarchy through the following mechanisms. Racial segregation was first, disenfranchisement was second. That's in voting, implementing taxes, literacy taxes, grandfather clauses, and violent intimidation to suppress the black vote. Okay? And then you had social subjugation. Social subjugation, beyond legal statutes, Jim Crow enforced degrading social norms, requiring black individuals to display subservience through etiquette rules, avoiding eye contact with the oppressor, using segregated entrances, meaning our oppressor could come in the front door, but we had to go around the side or go around to the back door. You understand? These practices were upheld by threats of violence, including lynching and terror and clan terrorism. You understand? Let's see that Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 30. Listen, Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 30 says, and when thou art spoiled, what wilt thou do? Though thou closest thyself with crimson, though thou deckest though Salakia, though thou deckest thee with ornaments of gold, though thou rentest thy face with painting, in vain shalt thou make thyself fair. Thy lovers will despise thee, they will seek thy life. No matter what we do to ourselves, no matter how much money we get, no matter how rich we are, no matter how good we look, no matter how much makeup and how much changing. Think about Michael Jackson, all that changing he did to himself. All these people do all of this changing to themselves. Look at Serena Williams, all of this changing to themselves. And the oppressor still looks at them as niggas. Everything that you do to impress the oppressor, and it's unimpressionable to them. Everything that we do, you understand? Cheesing and shucking and jiving. What was the dude name? What was the dude name on that they used to talk about back in the day? What was his name? The one that used to do all the, well, I don't know, both. You understand? You know who I'm talking about, the black dude. I can't remember his name for one. God. No, he was a black dude, one of the first black actors, but he was a buffoon actor. Oh, man, I can't believe I can't remember his name. Oh man. His name, if I say his name, you went, oh, I remember. And look, I bet y'all remember when we leave. But anyway, you understand, these no matter what we do, we can never be, you understand, an impression. We can never leave a good impression upon our oppressor, because our oppressor only understands one thing. You understand? And as long as we making him money, that's all he understands. As long as he's over us and we are subservient to him, that's all our oppressor understands. And we have to move away from our oppressor. We have to separate ourselves from our oppressor. You understand? No. It was what the guy name was. He be on oh man, I cannot remember his name. But he was one of those, remember on the Little Rascals, and the dude used to it'd be a old black dude on there, and he always was like, I don't know, but he was real lazy and stuff like that. What's his name? Oh man. He did an article. They talked to him right before he had passed away, right? And he said he wished he wouldn't have did all of those movies, but that was the only way that they could make money back then. They had to make a buffoon of themselves back then. He said he wished he wouldn't have did all of that stuff, but after he got older, he used to hear how people was talking about it. It was like, yo, he was hurt, that he did all of that stuff. Anyway, the next one is economic exploitation. By limiting access to education, jobs, and resources, the laws ensure Black Americans remain a cheap labor force, reinforcing economic dependency and stifling upward mobility. Meaning, they Step and Fetch. There you go. That's his name. Step and Fetch. That's it right there. Yeah. You understand? And he was talking about, He wish he wouldn't have never did that back in them days, but that was the only way a lot of them could get work, especially doing movies and stuff. You know what I mean? So they exploited us in that way. And we believe that America loves us, but the only thing America shows us as, and this is the only way that other nations know us as, either being whores, either being drug dealers, or pimps. That's it. That's what we known for. You understand? Think about what they always talked about Denzel. All the movies Denzel played in, he didn't get a Grammy until what? Until he did Training Day, a Crooked Police. You understand? He had to be somebody crooked. He had to be somebody, who was destroying his own community before he got a Grammy. Think about it, right? This is the America that we believe in. These are the laws and the things that they do to twist their narrative and make us look bad. You understand? And it says, I'm going to read that again, economic exploitation. Think about that word right there, Kawan. Economic exploitation. Meaning they don't allow us to do anything to where we can build a community and self-sustain ourselves. You understand? Think about the thing, limiting access to education and jobs. Education would help us build our own businesses, would help us create our own jobs. You understand? The laws ensure Black Americans remain the cheap labor force. That's what they look at us as. Think about this. They relegating everybody to taxi cab drivers. You either a Lyft driver or you are, what's the other one? Lyft and you got Lyft and two taxi cab companies. Now you don't even see taxi cabs on the streets no more. You either got Lyft or somebody online say it. It's Lyft and what's the other one, Kawan? Listen, because they listen. You driving for Lyft or you driving for? You gonna make me look it up, Kawan. Uber, Lyft and Uber, right? You Lyft, so you driving for Lyft and Uber. So you either a cab driver or a delivery person. Because Lyft and Uber do the same thing. They either cab drive you or they Uber in food or they bringing you food and stuff, right? You either a delivery person or you're a cab driver. They relegating us to specific jobs. And think about the jobs that they relegating us to. The jobs that they relegating us to, anybody can do. You don't have to have a education to drive a Lyft or Uber. You don't have to have an education to deliver food. Every college kid does that. Every little kid does that. Listen, they reversing us in time. We're moving backwards. Those were the jobs that we fought for when we came from under being emancipated or so-called emancipated. Those were the jobs we fought for. A carriage driver, a delivery boy. Those are the jobs we fought for. Now we back to fighting for those jobs again. Everybody fighting to do Lyft and Uber. Everybody fighting to do Grubhub and all of those other food delivery services. You hardly hear about people trying to start their own business. We struggling. You got people out here, brothers and sisters, out here working 2 jobs. families destroyed because of the laws of America. And America is erasing history and rewinding history. We going back to what we once were. Not to what the Most High wants us to be, but to what we once were. We being destroyed as a people, being relegated back to slaves again. Because once you get everybody to driving cabs and Uber and Lyft and delivery boys and all of that, now you can charge them anything. You can pay them anything you want. Because those are the only jobs that we qualify for. So much so that we're watching our own destruction instead of following these laws, statutes, and commandments. Come out of her, my people, and be not partakers of her sin. As long as we stay up under America, we stay partakers of her sins. We stay sipping out of that cup of iniquity. We destroyed. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with brothers, working a job or two to make ends meet. But we got to understand where our power is. We're relying in America too much. We believe in America. We sitting under the shadows of America. We believe America loves us. Not understanding that America totally despises us. No matter how much changing, no matter how much gold or ornament you put on, no how much you change in your face, no matter how much makeup you put on, they still hate us. They still despise us. The scriptures tell us that. We destroyed as a people. When we gonna wake up? When we gonna come to the conclusion that these laws, statutes, and commandments were created for us and no other people? If we follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, listen, the scriptures tell us if we follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, we'll be eating the good things of the land. You understand? We'll be multiplying children on top of children. You understand? Our fields will be as great as ever. Our baskets will be full. We will not want for anything. Right now, we're wanting for everything. We got to go to our oppressor for everything. So this is our call today, is to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. Come back to understanding. You understand? And with that, we're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. We've been bringing this truth since 1969. And what is that truth? That truth is that the so-called blacks, the so-called Hispanics, and the so-called natives are the true biblical Jews of the Bible, and the devil is the Salakia, and the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. With that, we pass the class over to Priest Officer Kawan Palat.
Might be eating on slap, but you can pass it. That's the devil. The on the ISUBK out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. On Commanding General Yohana, new rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or a sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to check themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to your brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithe, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18:21 and Malachi 3:10 means 10th in the Hebrew and is pronounced Mashrah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teach a priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy congregation. In my document, I brought you to check into social media such as ICBK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ICBK events and material. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headband, or scarf. With that, we're going to close out. Don't forget the Passover. Coming up on April, I believe, the 10th. It's going to be in Atlanta this year. Make sure to pay your Passover fee. With that, we close out.
They may catch you off guard.